Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to get into the Townhall. We're going to tackle the rank battle reward changes and what it's going to do for us as players and how much sort of more we can expect to receive. We're going to talk about new reward card stats that we saw. We're going to talk about DEC as a stablecoin, why it actually can work. We're going to talk about Rift Watchers and so much more. Make sure you stick around and stay tuned for this whole one. It's jam-packed. It's about 15 minutes long. You're going to enjoy it. Have an amazing day, guys. God bless. So the first thing is that I think we had one, and this is not at all chronological. There's a lot of amazing things, but two things strike me as the most important thing that came out of this, and we're going to cover those first, and then we'll stream through a few littler ones. The first thing is that the reward system changes are coming really soon, and that they're going to be very significant. It's going to be at the end of this season. So we've got about 14 days left in this active season, and at that point, they're going to be able to, even in the next few days, they're going to activate the code that will trigger the new reward system, including the which will affect the ghost card nerfs and the new. You're going to get reward shares for the more you play. If you're going to play about 30 games in a day, you're going to probably be able to maximize your potential for loot chest return. Now, it's really interestingly, it sounds like you're actually going to need to play quite well, and you're going to need to activate certain bonuses in order to achieve kind of the highest levels of potential within your daily returns. So instead of like play 5 games, win 5 games, claim your daily quest rewards, this new system is going to be actually really performance based. There's going to be upward potential that is going to be probably in excess of what you're able to claim. That's really cool because it actually means that this is going to be performance based. So the better you are, the more you can claim. That's really important. I don't just mean the better cards you have. You actually are going to need, Yaba said, we're actually going to need to achieve the highest levels of returns. You're actually going to require like win streaks, and you're going to need guild bonuses, and you're going to need gold foil bonuses, and alpha card bonuses or promo card bonuses, different things that are going to trigger higher percentage returns that in order to really achieve the highest level of potential success for your daily rewards. That's really awesome because it introduces a new level of skill for the achievement that you can unlock. So time and attention is going to be rewarded even more. If you're excellent at the game, you're going to receive even more rewards. That's super cool. Plus, they obviously talked about how at the highest levels, you're going to get even more. It really seems like it's going to be geared towards consolidating decks. If you have 5 or 6 decks, it probably is going to pay to push those and go into one really high level diamond or champion level deck to unlock diamond or champion level rewards. Oh, this was huge. The reward changes are gonna impact card ownership because of the ghost cards, right? Every account is going to need to have at least 1 BCX of the cards that they plan to play. Otherwise, they won't receive reward shares for having played that card. There will be diminishing returns on your daily rewards for every ghost card you play. So that implies ownership or rentals are going to be really important. Ownership of the card, or you have to rent the card. And that's going to be at the lowest levels for sure, like the biggest issue. But I think this is going to disincentivize the massive bronze armies, but also, interestingly, on the rental comment, and how these rewards are working, the fact that you need to play 30 battles a day to maximize your returns is going to totally revolutionize the amount of time spent in game. This was coming from Yaba and from Hardpoint, and they were talking about how, on average, each player, each account, there's many accounts that just tune in on the last day. And all they do is they grind hard with rentals in order to achieve maximum rewards and then enjoy their seasons. They don't mess with their daily quests. They don't mess with, rank battle play outside of that last day of the season. And that's in part why our rental costs are so high at the end of the season. That's in part why they're so high. But interestingly, with this new formula for handing out reward shares, there's going to be a lot more opportunity to generate revenue from playing this game. If you're playing every single day as opposed to trying to cram in one, you will not be able to get anywhere near the same amount of rewards if you just play one day at the end of the season as someone who is playing every day throughout a season. And so this is probably going to have massive implications for rental card values, probably triggering more rental desire throughout the beginning and middle of the rental season, and perhaps less rental card pressure at the end of the season because there isn't a push at the end to trigger something. I would think it's probably there's gonna be a moderation to the rental card rates across the entire season. That'll be interesting and probably really good for people who are still getting started, because I think it's not very functional to rent cards to play at this moment due to the end of season costs, but this new system is going to really turn that on its head. That's exciting. So those are the big things from the reward system. Of course, the ghost card stuff is huge. We already talked about that in previous videos, so we won't go deeper into that. Then there was additional talk around DEC as a stablecoin. They talked about Luna. They talked about stablecoin concerns, especially in the media today, the last couple of weeks in particular. But they talked specifically in UST, Luna, and what happened there. Here's the thing: the DEC appears to be like a true stablecoin backed by assets in the game, and that separates it from any other stablecoin. This is super interesting because this is something I've been thinking for the last week or so, and I think it's so worth spending a minute or two here talking about. The game will succeed so long as we have players that want to play the game for the assets that the game offers. If that ecosystem exists, then the DEC will remain stable because they are backing the price of DEC. The floor of DEC is backed by in-game assets that we presumably desire, including potions and Chaos Legion packs. And so what that means is when they say 1,000 DEC equals $1, and it's one thing to say that. It's another thing to plan an algorithm that tries to support that. But it's a third thing and a most important feature that they then say, not only does our algorithm try to hold it there, which is what a lot of stablecoins try, but also we have we have non-fungible token assets that we are willing to give away in exchange for this cryptocurrency, dark energy crystals. And that is a stabilizing floor. We will liquidate our assets for your DEC. And this is like what the USA did in the past with gold when they backed their own currency with gold. But that ended with Nixon, I think in the 70s. There was a complete closure of it. And interestingly, before that, they closed the gold window, they called it. You were allowed to just submit US dollars for gold. But before that, or after that, you could no longer do it. They just literally said you can't exchange currency for gold. But here's where this is sustainable and that wasn't. Dark energy crystals can always be traded for in-game assets because Splinterlands can always create new, unique, exciting in-game assets that you will desire if you like the game. Again, that foundation question is, are there players that like the game and desire the rewards? If the answer is yes, then they can always create a new pack. Right now, Chaos Legion, later Rift Watchers, in the future, another pack altogether. And those will be a desirable asset that will create a floor, and that will be essentially, in the analogy, the gold that backs the US dollar. Do you see what I mean? So that's the really interesting thing, because whereas the US was unable to support their US dollar fiat currency with gold, and they had to close that window, Splinterlands never has to close this window because they can always create more in-game assets that we desire. And that's not even inflationary because, again, as we saw with Chaos Legion, there's only so many, and then with Rift Watchers, there's only so many. So they can always release that next pack and leave each of them still be limited in number and create desire and create that buying pressure for DEC. So it's super interesting. It really seems to me that DEC is a true stablecoin with this new, with this reversion to that old technique, because they use DEC as a stablecoin with Untamed, and now they're doing it again with Chaos Legion. So I think this is brilliant. I think this is going to be a success, and I think it's going to reinforce the fact that the game is going to be desirable for players for many years to come. It's gonna mean that DEC doesn't go through the floor. It's gonna mean that you have new unique opportunities to step into the game through the rewards you're receiving, because the DEC you're getting paid to play the game, is going to be at that floor level and have that access point into Chaos Legion packs for now and later on other packs. So amazing. Those are the two big things, but here are a few more little ones. Splinterfest is happening September 17th, 18th, 2022. It's going to be in Vegas. I'm going to do everything I can to be there. I'd love to see in the comments who wants to go. And, Man, I would love to make this happen. That'd be so crazy. Reward card, the new reward cards are coming out soon. There's going to be 12 new reward cards on top of the 21 I think we already have. So that's going to dilute the dispersion, the print rates of each individual card, because now there's just more cards to draw from. So every loot chest has less of a chance to draw, for instance, an Oceanus, because it now has 12. It's going to soon have 12 new options to pick from. That's going to be really interesting because it's going to drag out that reward time. We're going to see some of those 21 reward cards that we've gotten so used to are going to just slow right down in terms of their release rate. I suspect that's going to have a positive implication for the price on those 21 reward cards, because there'll be less growing circulation on them, right? You see how that works? Because now there'll be 12 new cards that can populate in your loot chest. That should mean that those 21, including Oceanus, Bilka, Harkala, are going to be there's going to be a reduced circulation moving forward, which should have a positive implication for prices. That's super cool. Rift Watchers is going to be, they think it's going to be $5 worth of SPS. That was really interesting. I thought maybe they would accept DEC also. It sounded like, from what Yab and Matt said, it's going to be paid in SPS, and vouchers will be required, especially during the pre-sale, and that'll unlock, just like it did with Chaos Legion, certain pre-sale benefits, perhaps bonus packs, perhaps an extra airdrop, and then you'll need vouchers in the later phases of sale too, but you'll just get bonus packs associated with that. That's interesting. And then one more thing on Rift Watchers, it's going to be a bit larger than Dice in terms of number of packs. And so he didn't give an exact number, but he talked about how Chaos Legion is bigger than Untamed, and so Dice. So it's actually, Chaos Legion is 10 times bigger than Untamed, and so perhaps Rift Watchers is going to be 10 times bigger than Dice. He didn't say, but yeah, we'll see. And then Legendary Summoner stats are coming out. They'll be in June, so that's just a few weeks away. It was such a huge Townhall, guys. And then there was actually, let's quickly look at, there was stats too. This is the Vampiric Blossom. Looks amazing. Archery, Death Blow and Oppress, super valuable in certain contexts. The immunity is nice if you're fighting in that poison setting, and if you're going against, for instance, a gelatinous cube, which is so annoying. It's so cheesy in those noxious fumes. That's what it's called, noxious fumes. This will be a significant killer, because Oppress will double this, and Death Blow will double that again. That'll be a deletion. Plus the immunity means noxious fumes can't hurt it. So that's one of the cool new cards this is a reward card. And then we also saw this guy here, Ever Hungry Skull, which is an amazing name, and I love this. Like, I'm not exactly a skull guy, but like if you were gonna get a skull tattoo, this would be a sick one to have. 3 melee, 4 speed. You got the flight, the thorns, and the archery reflect. This feels a lot, they even said in there, it's almost like the Enchanted Defender, although the Enchanted Defender does not fly, and also the Enchanted Defender is very slow, so this is much faster. Also, this is more mana. The Enchanted Defender is 4, not 5. This will be really powerful in certain contexts as a tank, but it's going to depend. This will be huge in equalizer matches. I think this is a must-have card. This would be one that I strongly recommend you not sleep on at the highest levels in particular. But if you can get it, oh man, even at bronze, it's going to have 7 armor and 1 hit points. For equalizer matches, this sounds so huge. At bronze, at silver, it's like marginally better than bronze. At gold, I think it starts to get really good because you're getting into the 3 damage area. And then as you get into diamond or champ, I love it because the archery reflect and the significant thorn damage with even the higher armor. Again, equalizer, earthquake, melee from any position. This could be a great sneak attack defender in a melee from any position type situation. The only thing that's going to bother it is shatter. And so really, really strong card. I think it's going to be a must-have. And there was one more thing. We had a cool a picture of one of the new vampire reward cards. I think it was a reward card. There she is. The art style was actually decided by the crowd in the last town hall. So cool. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. Make sure you check out the whole town hall on your own and leave comments below on whether you think I missed something super important, or what your thoughts are on the things that I did speak about. Thanks.